This is going to be an amazing trip to Lake Eyre to see the Green Heart. The intention is to leave Brisbane, go to Charleville, then across to Birdsville, down across Lake Eyre and to Cooper Pedy and back again. Early Monday morning we've arrived at Archerfield Airport to wait for Peter, the pilot of Sunshine Aviation.
Right, take off in
It's approximately a 3-hour flight to Charleville, and it doesn't take very long, and we're just about there. It's been a great trip for the first day, and we're landing in Charleville. Well, we're unpacking in Charleville and decided to go and have a cup of coffee and sit down and talk about what happened today.
Oh, I tried, but it didn't seem, yeah. So we didn't, I couldn't run. I was quite happy.
So you didn't hear much at all?
Didn't hear anything.
That's no good.
That's all right.
Oh, but you're photographing all the time?
Photographing the whole time. So I had 150 photographs on my camera now. Just well, we've got film nowadays.
We've decided to go off to our accommodation and organise everything there, and later tonight we're going to go to the Cosmos Centre and see what that's about. One night in Charleville, and it was a great place to visit. Now we're off again. We're off to Birdsville.
Run faster and yep.
Yeah, the Roadrunner and the Coyote.
Yep, that's right.
Peter's packing up the plane, and Anne's over there not too far away. She's photographing.
So we just move around. So
15 minutes and we'll be off. And here we are. We've just taken off from Charleville, and we can see the road stretching far into the distance. Back there is Brisbane, approximately 800 kilometres to the east. It doesn't take long before everyone's got the camera in their hand and starting to photograph this wonderful scenery. Approximately 700 or 800 kilometres away is Birdsville out there. Just checking out the altimeter, and we're about 4,500 feet. As you fly across this open country, it's worthwhile having a road map with you. It can give you a better understanding of exactly where you are in Australia. We're very close to the Diamantina, and it's interesting just to see what has actually happened in the West. Carolyn's starting to get into the act now. These cameras are really getting a good workout. It's pretty incredible down there. This is the Diamantina, and it is hundreds of kilometres wide. There's water as far as the eye can see, and we're up 5,000 feet, and it's pretty amazing. Another few minutes and we've arrived at our second stop, Birdsville. What an amazing place, Birdsville. This is just one of the small side streets, but the main street's not much better. We're heading over to the Birdsville pub where we're going to stay there for the night and talk about what happened during the day.
At 4,500 feet. Mm-hmm. And then you came right down and we were still about 2,000 feet, I think. And I'm thinking, oh, you were talking about coming down to 500.
We've had lunch and we've decided to run over to the local museum and see what's happening there. It looks like a fascinating place. We've got the owner of the museum inviting the tourists in so they can have a look at the museum. This could be a fascinating tour. We've decided to tag along.
Got the petrol can, the tins in the boxes, lots of different ones in the roadside hydraulic section, and big tree motor oil. No one can argue with me now. And here's another little car.
After that we ran over and had a look at the geothermal plant that Birdsville has got. After having tea and going to bed and waking up next morning around about 6 o'clock, it's incredibly quiet here. No one is stirring at all. We're getting ready to fly very early this morning. We want to see it all and at the best time. Anne's making sure that the windows are crisp and clear so we can get the best photographs we can. And here we are, heading off. We're heading off down the Diamantina to the Warburton and then across Lake Eyre to Williams Creek. Five minutes out of Birdsville and the Diamantina is flowing incredibly well. It's amazing, the red heart, it's starting to change to green. Half an hour out and you can see the red sandhills of the Simpson Desert. This is a pretty amazing place. As we follow the river down, we eventually pass over the Goyder Lagoon. And there are thousands of birds down there. They come from all over Australia just to visit this spot when the Diamantina floods. It is one of the remarkable places for bird breeding in Australia. We've been flying over this section for at least an hour and a half so far, and the water is everywhere. You've never seen anything quite like it before. As you look towards the western horizon, which is over 50 kilometres away, there is just water. It's pretty difficult to do justice to this. Taking photographs of it is nothing like seeing it in the flesh. Kilometre after kilometre of these waterways. It is so impressive, it's unbelievable. We're coming to a point where the Diamantina and the Warburton join. We are officially, though you wouldn't know it, on the Warburton River. This river eventually ends up into the top end of Lake Eyre. As we fly down the river, we find this amazing group of people in the middle of nowhere. With the Warburton flowing right past their campsite and possibly at times in it. The top end of the Warburton is in full flood. And this means that there is still more water flowing into Lake Eyre north. And we've just hit the southern part of the Simpson Desert Regional Reserve, which is pretty staggering. Kilometre after kilometre of sand dunes, over 15 metres high. This abruptly hits the northern end of Lake Eyre. You can just see the top end of Lake Eyre as it comes into view. All our cameras are really getting a workout now. The day has turned out very hazy, and it's rather difficult to see a great deal of the lake. It looks like the lake and the sky just blend into one another. It is an amazing contrast when you see the salt flats and the lake water. With the water still pouring in from the Warburton, the lake is increasing at an incredible rate, and the understanding that it could be around about 90% full. We're crossing Lake Eyre to find a lovely colony of pelicans. We will be back this way tomorrow. Hopefully we'll get some better shots of the pelicans. We're flying over the western shores of Lake Eyre, and we will be flying into Williams Creek in about 15 or 20 minutes. The road map's been very handy. Look, here we are, the road to Williams Creek. This road eventually goes to Cooperpedy. Though, for the moment, we're landing at Williams Creek, and this is quite an unusual little settlement. Williams Creek has one airport and one pub and a main road going through it to Cooperpedy. This seems to be where everybody comes to have a look at Lake Eyre, since it's the closest airport and a remarkable one at that. We've had a cup of coffee and a biscuit at the pub, and we're off again. And hopefully we'll be arriving in Coopedi in probably about 3/4 of an hour. Coopedi is one of those unremarkable towns stuck in the middle of South Australia. And this will be our overnight stop for the 3rd day. The airport is a fair way out of town, so we have to wait for a taxi to pick us up. And Peter gets the plane ready for an early takeoff tomorrow morning. It's been a fairly late arrival, and we've decided to get into town and have some tea and watch the sunset go down and see the local scenery. After that, lights out, get ready for tomorrow morning. Another spectacular day awaits. We're up again very early. The sun is just creeping over the horizon here at Coopedi, and the official airport lounge, which we didn't get to use. With our early morning start, we're headed off to the Painted Desert, which is approximately northeast of Coopedi. This is one of those quite remarkable places in the world where you see something really different. This area was once well and truly underwater, some million years ago. It was originally the inland sea. As the water receded, it eroded the landscape and left a remarkable diversity of hills. With our last view of the Painted Desert, the plane heads southeast, back towards Williams Creek. We've had a small front come through, and the clouds just break before we hit Williams Creek. We've had to circle a number of times to wait for a commercial aircraft to land. Looks like a fairly large tourist group getting off here. A short stop, and we're off again, refueled and ready to go. Once we're up in the air again, we look for Lake Eyre, and it's not too far in the distance. Travelling over the green water, we eventually found our pelican colony again. It's approximately an hour and a half flight across Lake Eyre, and we're heading towards Tibooburra. Right below us is the Birdsville track. The track at the moment is blocked from the north, but it is accessible by the southern section. Another short stop at Tibooburra, just to fuel up and go to the loo. It was interesting while we were at Tibooburra, is they seem to be building a new runway and the tractors seem to be having a race down the airstrip. Taking a couple of candid shots of Carolyn and Anne Tracy. As we head east, a plume of dust coming off one of the big cattle trains. A short 6-hour flight and we're back over the main range with Mount Castle, one of the most striking mountains in this part of southeast Queensland. Only half an hour to go and we'll be back in Brisbane.